into the game, find out what we're dealing with. Team Alternate attacks against Virtus.pro. The good thing is, though, I'm not alone in this cast. I do have a caster with me. Skim, what's going on, man?
Hey, I was scared for a little bit because he started off with, like, I'm alone. I'm like, what? Did he forget about me?
I'm fully alone. No one here with me. Just me here, and take a look at this. Oh my goodness! Now, for the past what 4 days or so, Alchemist has seen nothing but play, and Venomancer is up there with him. My pubs have been plagued with Alchemist going the Radiance, Octarine, Manta build, and just split pushing like a Naga. It's honestly ridiculous. But how do you feel about them being first phase pick worthy?
I mean, there's a reason this Venomancer is banned against so many teams, right? Just because he puts out so much damage. It's something that you've always sort of had. Just the fact that Venomancer just technically just needs to go in and drop his ultimate, and then suddenly the enemy team kind of has to retreat. But I don't know, teams put so much more value into this Venomancer these days, and I think it's just a solid pick because it's very versatile. You can put him on the off lane, you can put him in mid lane, technically even as a support. And with the Alchemist together, you can just drop him in Aghanim's anytime you want. So that makes him even more valuable, or sort of like viable as a support or an offlaner. So I think this is actually a pretty good opener.
Yeah, it feels kind of like the Lina of, like not even just the previous patch, but the start of this patch as well, where Lina was picked because, you know, she could be played aggro tri-lane, mid support, anything like that, and Venomancer kind of fits the bill in that regard. Venomancer is also very good at really controlling these team fights, like you said, with that Poison Nova, just jumping in, throwing it out, and you're not really limited by too much. You know, you don't necessarily need a lot of farm. You can just get along with your skill set. Now, VP, they ban out the Ember Spirit here. Team Alternate attacks, no big surprise, they take out the Wisp, Ember, but they have allowed Alternate to get their Shadow Fiend, which is a hero that they've been very successful with, while Alternate, they ban out the Silencer there. Pretty scared of that Illidan one-roll Silencer, huh?
Yeah, it is definitely something that you want to respect. And this is something where, I mean, a lot of people, I hung out in chat earlier before the stream, and people just say, oh, Virtus.pro is obviously just going to win this, why even bother? But that's not necessarily true, because Team Alternate, they have all this information regarding Virtus.pro, right? They know what Virtus.pro does because Virtus.pro has been playing so often in the past few months, whereas Team Alternate, unless you really specifically research them, may not really be one of those teams that you're prepared against. So I think they sort of have an edge in that regard, knowing what Virtus.pro usually likes to run and what they don't like to run. And by the way, I love that Ancient Apparition pick. I'm not sure if you followed the North American qualifiers so far for the Frankfurt Major, but a lot of them pick AA just as a counter towards the Alchemist, and it is a really good counter.
Well, we first saw it from Vega at ESL 1.
Sure.
So they definitely caught on very quickly, thinking, hang on a second, Alchemist, with that ultimate up, he's tanky as all hell, so what can we do to stop it? Ice Blast out, and Virtus.pro, honestly, this is just disgusting. We talk about meta picks all the time. You know, previously it was Sniper Troll Jug, and then it was Lina Leshrac and whatever else. Now it's Broodmother, Alchemist, Venomancer, and VP get all three. Jeez, they ban out the Clockwork, so no good initiation there. Kind of interesting though, even with the Broodmother, you know, Spiderling's able to block out, but that's mainly because of the combo you can throw out with the Hook Shot, Ice Blast, and it used to be this big combo that a lot of Chinese teams used to run, was Clockwork, AA, and then like a Queen of Pain, where you just go around, you're able to set up kills across the map with, you know, just a couple of heroes, but okay. Ice Blast to stop the Alchemist healing up, minus armor from Slardar, because, you know, Alch doesn't have great armor or survivability on his own, and VP, Naga Siren.
Honestly, if you're a team like, okay, Durkar, you play a lot of pubs, right? And if you're in a pub and say you've been AFK for the first 5 minutes, the picks are going on, and you come into this game and you see these 4 picks from your opponents: Venomancer, Alchemist, Broodmother, Naga Siren.
I rage quit. I was like, see you guys, you have fun with this game, I'm out of here.
Exactly. And just what is Team Alternate going through right now? Because this is something that, how do you play against this?
You've got the cold sweats. You're just there like shaking and sweating like, oh god, we've got to deal with this again.
Please no. But yeah, Broodmother alone is already just it's just so annoying to play against. And then you have like disgusting Venomance and Alchemists, and oh, to top it off, we have a Naga Siren. Woohoo! Well,
I get Sasu his Tusk, so I guess they've got some good initiation here, but this is the thing. Laning phase is the worry, right? Broodmother does very well in lane. There's nothing really to shut her down. And where do you even go from here? I'm wondering now, actually. I said the offlane Tusk, but I kind of feel like they need a support hero or something that can deal with this brood. But there's no Darkseer, there's no Ember Spirit, there's nothing that can really shut her down and control her in lane. So I wonder if they deal with her just by, spamming sentries and trying to look for kills. It's honestly going to be very difficult. And then if you have the Naga Siren running around, riptiding and causing all this havoc, Alchemist getting bounty runes and getting, 1,000 gold a pop or something like that, it's rough. But VP with their final pick, I'm assuming Broodmother offlane, Alchemist towards the mid. Okay. So Alchemist safe lane then.
Yeah, most likely. G is definitely the TA player on that team, unless they've changed it around a bit. But G was such a good TA player that when TA wasn't even a meta pick, Chinese teams just banned it against G when he wasn't LGD, and that's how good he is on that hero. Interesting. So it's definitely support Naga Siren, Venomancer. I mean, it was sort of obvious that Naga Siren was going to be support, but this definitely is the nail in the coffin in that regard. And Team Alternate, how do you deal with this? Do you maybe try to be very aggressive early on, maybe even go aggressive tri-lane to sort of like exploit the weakness of this early Venomancer and Naga Siren? Because in lane, they aren't necessarily that strong.
It's a possibility. I love the Visage ban, though. Lil's Visage is an absolute threat, regardless of your lineup. But TA mid, Shadow Fiend does decently there. It's very skill-based, like heavy in that matchup. I've seen Shadow Fiend's wreck, I've seen TA's completely demolish the SF, and I've seen it go perfectly even. But
it's a support Alchemist. We've been fooled.
We have been. Venomancer in the one role.
Okay, this possibly makes more sense, to be honest.
Well,
I mean, I guess.
We're not going to see a 30-minute radiance, 30-second radiance, are we?
No, definitely not.
What's the fastest now? I swear there was like a 9-minute radiance the other day.
I think 9 minutes is the record at this point. But, I mean, the qualifiers are still going on, Durka. I believe that this record can be broken again. Okay,
broken and broken and broken. Well. So it will be Tusk off lane for Sasu. We don't know if he's going to go up to the top lane to deal with the Broodmother, but I think Crystal Maiden deals decently with the Brood. You buy a couple of sentries, you've got Frostbite, you've got stuns, and the fact that Ancient Apparition can hide in the fog and the Iceman cometh, he's got that increased range on Cold Feet. You can actually get a ton of lockdown onto that Broodmother before she can really react.
Yeah, I think ATN has a fair chance in the laning stage. I think a lot of it will come down to the mid lane, actually. Just the lineup in general, TA versus SF is a 50-50 thing, but G, again, he's so strong, and I feel like the SF, or rather ATN, they need to make sure that SF gets a little bit of help. And this is where this kind of gets tricky, right? Because you want to dedicate a lot of heals to that Broodmother to shut her down, but at the same time, you also want to have somebody rotate to the SF to sort of like help him. And if you play the CM like Liquid does, for example, where Kuro just jungles for the first 3 levels, I think ATN, they will have to come up with something tricky, because they have to sacrifice something, either the SF or the Broodmother.
See, now, what's the chances here that FNG buys very little, goes to get the bounty rune, and gives a bottle to G?
Oh, he's actually doing it.
I think this is a legit strat.
Good call, yeah.
I actually think this is a super legit strat. Like, he's got 500 gold, actually. I'm calling it now. Like, I've seen this before from, it might even have been VP. Oh no, it's a South American team, never mind, where they had a Chen, and he bought nothing, went to get the bounty rune, got a bottle for his mid laner, and he did that, but what's FNG got? No, he's got himself boots, so it's not happening. Okay, I think they thought about it for a second, but going over to Dire, I've seen a ton of AAs go towards the mid lane, give Chilling Touch to your Shadow Fiend, and it's similar to what you do with kind of the Naga, the Visage, the Winter Wyvern, where you're just giving that kind of guaranteed first wave of last hits in there. Chilling Touch gives him that little boost of damage, gets in with the souls, but he's actually got Razors first, which is the normal kind of startup against the TA. But lanes, DK Phobos up at top, the Broodmother, going to be dealing with Supreme on the Slardar, and the supports, Nisha, and Anti-Mage. Ancient Apparition. I've seen so much Anti-Mage, it's just like ingrained in my memory. Exotic Deer, with the annoying taunt on your Shadow Fiend, and Crystal Maiden, Lissash there. Down on bottom lane, who's this? Sasu on the Tusk. Going to be trying to contest this bot rune spot, but I don't think it's happening. G on the Temporal Assassin, Lil playing in Naga Siren, and Illidan with the Venomancer, with a Wraithband recipe. I wonder what kind of build he's going into. FNG on your Alchemist, and that wraps it up. But Observer Wards, what have we got so far? Dire, one pretty deep over on the Radiant side in the jungle, and Radiant actually watching across at the middle lane, one up on this high ground. So I wonder what they're going to be looking for here. Maybe movements in from the CM, smokes from the AA, things like that, because G, susceptible early on definitely to these roams and ganks and things like that. DK Phobos, I know that a ton of the CIS players have been getting coaching and stuff in Broodmother, and it's definitely been paying off.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think this is one of the more interesting things to watch out for in this game. Oh, FNG, nah, he's not gonna do anything. But yeah, this is one of the more interesting things to look out for, how this Broodmother is going to be played, because Fnatic earlier today, for example, they picked up a Broodmother, but it wasn't actually that strong, just because Chrissy didn't really utilize the Broodmother as much as, say, Mag does on Vega. So I think it will be interesting to see if Phobos can sort of like live up to his to the hype that is the Broodmother.
Well, we'll see what he gets up to now. Sasu, he's been stacking up these creeps with those ice shards, actually building it up. But look at this, the pull across. Illidan has to deal with this double wave while the pull through actually goes from Lil, blocked in by the shards. But it's all fun and games for Sasu right now. He's running around. He's got up to level 2, so the snowball's there. Probably buy yourself a TP and try and react to what's going on, because G at middle lane burnt through the refraction already. Exotic's here with his bottle up already. Oh, misses out on cancelling the salve. Close, but G, he should have a decent time from here on out. You know, he's got himself a fair amount of last hits, 7-3 to the 7-0 of the Shadow Fiend, and this is where things get a little bit nasty for him, which is why Lissash already making a movement in. G held with a Frostbite. Exotic Deer, he's got 2 points in raises, and G potentially could die here. There's no refraction left, and he will actually go down.
Wow, really good rotation from the CM. I mentioned earlier that, you know, CM jungle, it is always good to rotate to the mid lane, but usually you don't really see the rotation until she hits level 3 and has like boots. But yeah, that was really good timing, and she's sitting at 900 gold. Do you go Midas? Oh, never mind, she already bought stuff.
She's like, nah, mate, gonna go boots, not gonna go Midas. This guy, I don't think there's the timing for it. You know, you need to expend so much dealing with a Broodmother who just got the Soul Ring that going from Midas would mean that you have this period of, like, you know, 4 minutes or so where there's no smokes, no sentries, no dust, nothing at all to try and get in there. Because Nisha, you know, not actually leveled anything up yet, has sentries and dust, and is trying Phobos. Where is it? There we go. Sentry found. Going to take it out, but still going to get caught here, it looks like, with the dust out from Nisha. They've got the stun and the chilling touch. Vortex out as well, and Phobos dropping very low. Supreme gets in there with a few more hits, and he should be able to bring him down. Broodmother does drop. Meanwhile, towards middle lane, FNG comes in with the acid spray. Exotic Deer should be able to escape this one. Sasu has already snowballed shards and could potentially turn back into this. With Snowball ready, are they going to go in? Are they going to go in? They've got vision.
Yep.
Shards there. FNG's blocked, and they've got Raise. Yep, there we go. That should be a finishing blow. And Exotic Deer, great start off for him. Boots, bottle, 500 gold, and Sasu moving off from the bottom lane, hits level 3.
Yeah, that was a really good gank from the Tusk. Sasu got a haste rune bottom lane, and even though VP had vision over that, I think this is the most critical thing here. G had full vision on that, yet he kept playing so aggressively in the mid lane. I watched the whole thing, and it was just good awareness from Sasu, but I guess nobody on VP called it out. It just seemed like nobody was actually aware of it, even though they should have been. So that's pretty unfortunate, and something that I'm not sure if we've pointed it out, but FNG, he's just ancient. He's just farming the ancients with his acid spray.
Oh my goodness. Oh no, not this again. Oh, back in the day, you know, we used to see oh god, who was it? Phonic offlane Wind Ranger would go Ancients. We saw Medusa Ancients, Necro Ancients. Thanks, Leaf Eater, for that lovely little thing. But Alchemist Ancients, I guess it follows the same kind of thing. Physical damage from the acid spray, go into a Midas, build yourself up. One thing though I think is really worthwhile pointing out. Net worth of the Shadow Fiend is 2k. But you look at the last hits and it just doesn't match up. It's these 2 kills. The kill and the 2 assists he's got, killing off this G Templar Assassin. G is, you know, you look at the lane in a vacuum, G is outplaying, right? G is dominating the lane, he's out-last-hitting, he's out-harassing, he's crushing the Shadow Fiend, but, like you mentioned early on, the rotation's in. Crystal Maiden, Lissash, actually stacking up camps as well for your SF, getting herself up a decent amount of levels. Bot lane, though, is something we've not really looked at too much. Illidan down here with the little Plague Wards, getting a good amount of damage onto this tower. And now Sasu, actually held in place a little bit, slowed down by the Gale, chased, and FNG comes in. He's only level 1, so there's no stun, but you've still got the damage from that damage over time. Snowball. What else can you do, though? No shards. Illidan It'll be okay to run himself away, and they get themselves a kill on the Tusk down at bot, and this should be a tier 1 tower.
It was such an awkward kill that they just ran him down because they didn't have a disable. Oh my god, that poor Tusk. But yeah, coming back to the mid lane, I think G kind of losing this lane comes back to Phobos not being able to apply more pressure onto this off lane. What you usually want from a Broodmother is like draw the attention from the enemy safe lane and from both supports in an ideal situation. But he's not really pressuring them too much. Now he's sort of like harassing Nisha here and there, but I don't think that's enough. Because the Crystal Maiden is not even needed in this lane, meaning she was able to rotate to the mid lane, right? So I think this sort of like comes back to that again. And G, I mean, yeah, again, he's completely outplaying that SF, but it's to no avail when he gets killed twice.
And that's the thing, this... Like you think that the Broodmother would be able to crush the AA alone and just leave the Slardar to farm and deal with it that way. But the fact that they can actually react... Oh, God. Right, there we go. First missed kill of the night. Last one, hopefully, as well. Bot lane. Sasu does actually drop there as FNG comes in with a stun. But yeah, Broodmother has been having to deal with these well-placed sentries. The dust at level 1 from that Ancient Apparition is that really annoying threat to deal with. And now, Slardar, with his level 6, he's got amplified damage. So Phobos doesn't have the mobility and kind of tact to be able to run himself around. So they're going to look towards middle lane. But G and FNG, they've both been spotted here by that nice Star Observer Ward, seeing them both come in. And that's pretty freshly placed as well.
And it's a very unusual Observer Ward as well. Usually when you see an Obs in the mid lane, you want to place it on the other side of the river, right? So this is a very defensive ward, but it is really good, honestly. Just because there's 2 supports that could technically roam in with the Naga Siren and the Alchemist, so very nice awareness. And FNG, I don't know about this Alchemist, man.
Oh, DK Phobos. He's not slowed by the Nova, so should be okay as long as he doesn't turn around to try and do anything silly. Well, this Ash doesn't get the Frostbite off, so he does actually run himself back to the tower. And these little spiderlings, you know, you can't just let them run down your Crystal Maiden. They do a ton of damage when they're grouped up like that. How are we looking for FNG, though? Because he's got his first point in Greed. He's still got some Ancient stacked up, but that's going to be for the Templar Assassin. Now she's hit level 7. You can clear through these pretty easily with the Acid Spray down. Goodbye armor. Easy, easy takedown for these. So G should pop himself up to a good amount of net worth. This actually should put him up ahead of the Shadow Fiend, even though SF's been clearing stacks, clearing out this jungle, and has a couple of kills to his name. So it's going to be a nice little boost there. Put him up to treads. Ancient Apparition, though, is the one that we're looking at. Getting up to level 6 at mid. While FNG is kind of looking towards the same, get himself a few levels, but the stun coming in, Exotic Deer, TP's cancelled! And G is going to chase him down. With the Chilling Touch down, they're going to try and get this kill, and they will back onto G, but the AA unable to save his teammate. Meanwhile, the Broodmother gets a kill up on top, does bring down the Crystal Maiden, and Slardar couldn't do a damn thing about that one. You know, there's no dust, there's no sentries. Oh, there was dust, actually. Crystal Maiden had dust, but still couldn't save herself.
Yeah, that's just pretty much Crystal Maiden, or the life of a support against the Broodmother. Most supports just are eaten alive by these spiderlings, to be honest. And unfortunately for the Crystal Maiden, she ran into a camp full of spiderlings because DK Phobos was just feasting on a neutral camp, so it's not much he can do.
Well, there's your Ice Blast. Nisha hits level 6. So they've got a pretty good timing, actually. 8.5 minutes in, you look at the Venomancer down in bot, and it's going to be the kind of old school build, Arcane's mech, and go for the Utility Mancer and into like a Blink Dagger Aghanims, things like that. It's not the Midas into straight Ags or anything like that build that we've seen previously. But I guess if Alchemist can go, you know, into a Solar Crest, into a Medallion, whatever he wants to, he can actually start building Ags for his teammates very early on. But the thing is, he only needs one, right? It's just the Venomancer, who's actually snowballed on down at bot. Poison Nova's out, but Sasu should be able to get this kill with the Gale. Maybe he's going to give up his life for this one. They get the hits in, and Illidan, he's not going to die. The stick charges, and look at them TPing out in Snare. Not there in time, and Lil doesn't cancel a TP, but Venomancer survives through it all, while the 2 heroes who were playing aggressively onto him have to get back to base.
That was good. Well played from Illidan, actually. He was kind of like baiting them into it, and he kept his stick charges. Like, he had 5 stick charges. He was basically safe, so...
Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
If Lil had realized sooner, gonna TP his net to these onto the CM to secure that goal, but oh well.
Oh, Lil has Arcane Boots, getting up to level 6, but this Broodmother starts to take control of the enemy jungle now. When you start pushing it onto the tier 1, you take that, you take control of the enemy jungle, you stop the Crystal Maiden from farming, and then you've got these dominant lanes that we were talking about. The Templar Assassin, who is difficult to kill, and is now taking down a bunch of jungle stacks as well. G is starting to race ahead and create that gap, which is sometimes difficult to bridge. Shadow Fiend loves to be ahead in net worth, loves to be at the top of the board, but Templar Assassin, we've seen time and time again as the fight's starting to break down at bottom lane. They kill off the Alchemist, and they want to look for more. G is hiding. With the Mel Strike out, he gets Supreme, but there's no follow through, and they're going to group up as 4 here to push into the mid-tier 1.
Yeah, as you nicely pointed out, like, this is really well played from VP, sort of like giving G this whole. I mean, they gave him like 3 to 4 stacks all across the jungle. This is really nice. Just even if he been shut down in the jungle, it's just really good to give your carry such a boost, especially if it's up against an SF who is a much better flash farmer, I think, than the TA.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Interesting.
If G gets fat, oh god, G's jumped on here. They get the amplifier down to Illidan. Ice Blast's going to miss completely pretty much there. G does get hit by the trail, and Illidan turns back. He's got mech up on him, but he's going to wait for this Ice Blast to wear off onto his teammates. Gets punched into the air, and he will get finished off with a Chilling Touch, Cold Feet combo. Exotic Deer, though, walks into the middle of 3. Says hello G, but Lil and FNG, they put him in his grave, and now they're chasing down Nisha. But the trap's slow, Alt's done, and this should be a nice little kill with the ensnare to secure it. A few hits out, and that's it. G gets himself a chunk of change there. Pushes them even further ahead. Shadow Fiend had no right whatsoever to be walking in, but maybe Supreme gets a little bit of return, but the song is there from Lil. And they want to turn and fight this without stun. They throw it out, the concoction lands, and Supreme looked like he was going to get a free, cheeky little kill onto G. And Lil having none of it.
That was actually pretty good awareness that they were able to turn this. Usually what you see is just, oh, you song and you immediately run away, right? Just because the TA was so exposed. But they just knew that with all this minus armor, which by the way is really disgusting, the amount of minus armor they have now, they knew they couldn't melt this slaughter.
Now, DK Phobos is going Orchid on this Broodmother and actually kills off the Crystal Maiden in the middle of her base. But yeah, DK Phobos Orchid on the Broodmother. This is like the epitome of old school builds, right? You know, TI2, TI3, yeah. Broodmother Orchid, just go off lane, kill off supports and finish things off. We saw a little bit of a resurgence of it in China at the start of the year, until the kind of Midas Dagon build became popular just after the Necro Unit book. Necro book. But Orchid against Crystal Maiden AA, even against a Slardar who doesn't rush into a BKB. You know, treads blink, BKB comes a lot later. And his flash farming isn't that great. They need to fight, they need to look for kills. So Brood is able to actually battle. And the main thing is you stop people from solo defending, right? Someone comes back to defend, they throw their spells, and you just go in and you kill them. You make sure that they can't just send one hero, they've got to commit 2 or 3 to try and deal with you.
At the same time, and I think this is why this build is not so popular anymore, like, you can achieve the same pretty much with the Radiance, right? Especially in this, if just by yourself, you kill her with a Radiance, no matter what. I don't think you need to silence her in order to kill her. So this is why I'm not sure if Orchid is really the best item choice here, just because AA and CM are so squishy, you can just kill him without the silence, to be honest. And the SF is gonna go for BKB first anyway, so if anything, it's more against the Tusk and the Slaughter, and I'm not sure if that's that effective, unless he's really participating in those team fights early on.
Well, I'll see what he gets up to with it. Grouping up at mid, the Desolator at 1337. 1337, G gets his big old item, and now we can flash farm even faster. Take Roshan, go and look for these kills, and potentially go and 2-shot heroes like the CM and the AA, who do not have a lot of armor or a lot of HP. You know, they're sitting on, what, 853 on this AA because of that urn, 644, the Crystal Maiden, not looking too hot. So they've got to be very wary about their positioning. You know, Sasu can come in and save them from time to time, but he's not gone for that utility build. He doesn't have the Arcane's mech. He's gone drums, face boots. And then the Shadow Fiend, no mech on him either. So they don't have that survivability item. They don't have that big teamfight item, which often you'd really like to see in these kind of minus armor, aggressive strats where you want to be jumping forward, looking for kills. Ice Blast, gonna fly out to the Spiderlings, but DK Phobos, he's already pretty safe and out of there. Oh god, they jumped in on the AA. I thought maybe they'd catch the Broodmother, but it's the ancient apparition that's actually found.
Yeah, and now this is where the Broodmother pick is really paying off. I mean, it didn't really do too much in the landing stage, I feel, but it just drew the attention of like 3 to 4 heroes even. So this Broodmother is so annoying to deal with, and they can't even kill those Spiderlings unless it's an SF up there. So what do you do if you're ATN right now?
I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know where you go with this. Because GK Phobos is such an annoying hero up at top, you've got to commit like 5, honestly, you've got to commit 5 heroes to go and kill him. The Roshan's just been taken, TA has that, and you're walking into this fight, Supreme gets it, he just dies, obliterated, and the rest of the team fight's not going to go any better. With Lil on the front lines, the Requiem does very little with the stick charge, cancelling out the freezing field. And G, he wants to kill them all. He wants to kill them all. Mel Strike, there's 1, here's 2, and there's 3. Lissash, the pretty much last man standing. Crystal Maiden, the little frail woman. Stun concoction not going to get launched down, but G should be able to chase this one down. 1-hit kill. Bam! There we go. Ultra kill for G. Nisha escaping. But guess what? Broodmother's up at top. That was a 4v5, and you still lost, completely. You were demolished.
I wouldn't blame them if they called GG, because what can they honestly do? I mean, it was almost actually not the perfect initiation, but it was pretty good initiation from them, honestly. The AA blast hit the TA, and TA was actually stunned up by Roshan, so she couldn't do anything in the beginning. I don't know. I feel like ATN, they don't really have an opportunity to actually get this game anymore, just because they can't really deal with the Broodmother. This TA is incredibly strong, has a Blink Dagger, is probably going to go BKB next. And even if they do manage to get her down, there's always going to be an Venomancer who has like a really strong ultimate.
Yeah. Okay, I've tried to fix the contrast a little bit. Not sure why that was changed, but hopefully it looks good now. I've tweaked it a little bit. Snowball towards middle lane. They're just going to try and go in on Illidan here. He gets his mech off, but it's not fast enough. G. Oh god, it's time to run him down. Frostbite will hold him in place. Melt Strike, there's 1. Insta-give over on the Crystal Maiden, and want to splash back on that Sireblade hit. Not going to actually do too much here. Nisha wants to go back in, it looks like, but my goodness. G, let's see what you can do. Supreme on 1/3 of his HP, still wants to get back with the amplified damage. G, the invis rune is popped, but they can see you. They know exactly what you're up to. Up at top, DK Phobos pushing in pretty hard onto the top tier 3, and G walks behind the tier 2. They don't react in time. Splash hit, there we go. Shadow Fiend walks behind his teammate, and G stick charges up, kills off Nisha, and he's not even going to die for it. Lissash, bye-bye. You're done for. Gone. Radiant's courier dies, I guess, to the tower because G was delivering a blink and Guardian Greaves recipe for Illidan. It doesn't matter though. Honestly, does not matter.
Before he got those kills, I was like, if he has a blink there, he gets like an ultra kill, right? And then he just walks up to them and they don't run away. They just, I don't know why the SF just didn't run away. When this TA comes running at you, you run. Speaking of running, Supreme, he wants to get away.
Well, 18-8. I have not looked at the graphs because it's possibly the scariest thing I've ever seen. 15,000 net worth lead here for VP. 18 minutes in. That's absolutely dismantling ATN here. And 12,000 experience lead. DK Phobos. I mean, you just look at the net worth board, right? TA, Broodmother, Venomancer, Alchemist is higher than the Shadow Fiend. A support Alchemist is higher than your 2-roll Shadow Fiend at the middle lane. G gonna lose Aegis though at middle lane, punched out by Sasu. But FNG wants to go back in here onto Exotic Deer. They turn. G is gonna get amped up, but there's the Song of the Siren. Reset the fight. And they're able to actually extract their heroes while DK Phobos fights up at top against the tower. Requiem gonna get launched out, but Supreme's already gone. The G finishes him off, and Nisha. Ice Blast is ready. You've got to throw it, Illidan will get taken out by that one, but TP out from the Sasu Tusk. Crystal Maiden does get that godlike streak of G, but look at that, he buys back, buys BOTs. It's time to win the game, guys. Let's take top racks, let's take mid-tier 3. Everything is going to get finished off here in the next couple of minutes, guys. Sasu, Lissash, Nisha, you're getting killed off by the Orchid and the Spiderlings. As G buys back and possibly in a rough situation here. As Sasu, nope. Locks him down, but there's no damage to actually kill him off. And top racks gonna drop here as Team Alternate scrambling to try and defend. The Spiderlings chasing them. There's no initiation tools. How do they get into this fight? G will get his refraction pop there, but Lissash is dead. Crystal Maiden under the power of the Spiderlings taken out, and now the chase is on. If they had Blink here over on G, then maybe they'd run into that one, but look at him. He's got BOT's Treads Desolator, and his Blink is on the dead courier. Their Greaves are on the dead courier because this Venomancer has a Veil now, but Supreme jumps in with a Snowball. They'll be able to stun him up a little bit here, and FNG, his concoction will catch them both. Supreme, no miss uphill.
Oh,
G gets a
G!
couple. Refractions back up, turns to fight. The ensnare is there. And this is exotic J drop and kill dead. G, are you going to die actually? The cold feet will proc and finish him off, but Nisha has walked into the middle of the death squad. The hordes of Virtus Pro heroes just surrounding them all.
I just want to sort of point out that both supports got both kills on G, and they were able to farm, like, just because of the kill streaks they ended, they were able to get a Glimmer Cape and a Meg, respectively. That's just how much G was worth at the end.
Well, that's game number 1, guys. Virtus Pro definitely turning on the style there against Alternate, but, you know, it wasn't bad. Alternate actually did very well in the laning phase, which, you know, I was surprised by it. I don't know about you, but I thought Virtus Pro would have a very firm grasp on laning phase and really just, you know, from start to finish, demolish.